Which top Georgia targets are going to be in Athens this weekend for a big official visit? That's what we're talking about in today's video. Of course, it is another giant group of visitors. Lot to talk about. So if you're into Georgia recruiting, as you should be, this is the video for you because it's going to be another loaded weekend in Athens. I want to start with probably the highest ranked visitor, and I think he's still going to be in town, and that's five-star running back Savian Haidider. I hope he gets back to me soon, but this was the plan all along, to be in Athens for his official visit this weekend. He was at Ohio State last weekend. He's been to Tennessee recently. Michigan is still a team in the mix. Georgia's got some ground to make up here, right? They are behind at least two, maybe three of that top four: Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State, Michigan. Georgia might be running fourth there, last I heard. So this is a major opportunity for Georgia to get back into the thick of this. A lot of buzz around Tennessee, still a lot of buzz around Michigan. He was just in Columbus for that big Ohio State visit. So a lot of teams still in the mix, but I do think Georgia's got some ground to make up. He hasn't announced that he's going to be in town this weekend, but this has been the weekend that's been on the books for a while. So he told me multiple times in the past, this is going to be the weekend he'll be in town. So I think that's still the plan. I have not confirmed it, but he's the number one running back in the country, so I definitely want to talk about him. Georgia's got some ground to make up. If he does still plan to make it in Athens, this is a big visit, no doubt about it. So Savian Haidider, number one running back in the country. I think the plans are for him to still be in Athens. Hope to confirm that on Dog Post, but definitely a guy to keep a close eye on. However, it does not appear that Georgia is the team to beat right now. So they've got some ground to make up. Okay, moving right along to a guy that I think Georgia has a better shot at, another elite prospect, and that's Agoko. This is a guy that's held a Georgia offer for a while now. His brother, Nnamdi Agoko, plays defensive line at the University of Georgia, so there are some ties there. He is lean. He is physically gifted, 6'6", 285. Looks like he's 260 if you just look at him, but he is a powerful, mobile, athletic left tackle out of South Garner High School in North Carolina. He's been a Georgia target, a big one, for a long time now. He's the number 6 offensive tackle prospect, the number 68 overall prospect in the country. He's very familiar with Athens, around the Georgia program. He was in Athens for G-Day. I like Georgia's chances here, but I mean, he was at Florida for a big official visit in mid-May. Last weekend, he was at Clemson. I think the Tigers might be the team to beat. I think Ohio State is pushing hard. I mean, everyone wants this guy for a reason. He is a borderline 5-star, and, you know, Georgia needs elite tackles. We've talked about that for a while. Every class, every recruiting cycle, they need to try to bring in one guy who they think is elite, you know, ideally 2 or 3. But Agoko, definitely a guy that Georgia has had their eye on for a long time. He is a major target, and he will be in town this weekend for a big official visit. Big opportunity for Georgia to, you know, gain some momentum and maybe grab the lead for him or extend the lead that they might already have. I know they're in a good position. We'll see how things go this weekend, but I expect Georgia to roll out the red carpet for this big-time offensive tackle who, again, has Georgia ties, no doubt about it. Moving right along, and you should be able to read all of this on Dog Post, by the way. This story that I'm looking at right now should be published over on the website, so make sure you're checking that out. 4-star offensive lineman Graham Houston, Georgia's lone offensive line commit, I believe, unless I'm crazy and miss him. I got 2 young kids. But that's no excuse. I do think he's Georgia's only offensive line commitment right now. 6'5", 305, out of Buford. Plays left tackle, but he's going to move inside, play for the Dogs inside at guard. But he's mobile. He's great in the run game. He is a mauler. Gets to the second level, does a great job getting hands on those linebackers and opening up running lanes past the line of scrimmage. He's the number 23 interior offensive line prospect, number 290 overall in the country, and he told me this is the only visit that he is taking, the only official visit he has lined up. So this guy is all Georgia. He's ready to be a dog, and a guy that Georgia fans should feel pretty excited about. If you live in the Buford area, if you follow high school football, make sure to go check him out because he is a fun, mean, physical offensive lineman to know. Okay, Quinn, another guy who will now play at Buford. He was at Greater Atlanta Christian. He is a 4-star edge. I've always been told that other teams are making him more of a priority. Clemson, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, a few others. But he's going to be in town this weekend. We'll see if Georgia, pushes for him and kind of puts their foot on the gas pedal and starts to make him a priority. I know he's going to say to people that he's the top priority, or at least that's the general feel that I've got when he speaks with the media and myself. But they're getting him on campus. He's a 4-star guy, 6'4", 220. So he's got some length. He's got some athleticism. He's a promising pass rusher. Didn't exactly light up the stat sheet last year for Greater Atlanta Christian, but he's the number 30 edge defender overall, number 273 overall in the country. That ranking's not going to excite a lot of Georgia fans, but he does have an offer. They have been recruiting him. I don't think he's number 1 or 2 on their board. I don't think he's as good as Kamari Brooks, the North Oconee lineman, who will be at Alabama this weekend. He was at Georgia last weekend for a big official. I think that's their top guy, but Drake Quinn, still a guy to keep an eye on. Again, I think Notre Dame, Clemson, Georgia Tech, and maybe a few others are also in the mix there, but he'll be in town for a official visit. 4-star cornerback Caden Harris, definitely a guy to know as well. He's committed to Vanderbilt, 6 foot, 170 pounds, just a clean, efficient quarterback. He's got smooth hips, quick feet. He's got a lengthy frame. He's the number 12 cornerback prospect in the country, number 83 overall. Of course, they just landed a big-time cornerback in Justice Fitzpatrick out of South Florida, but this is a kid, I believe, outside of Memphis. Again, committed to Vanderbilt, but he is a top 85 prospect in the country. He's been to Athens at least twice this year. He's always had Georgia high on his list, always says good things about the Dogs and his relationship with that staff. 4-star guy, again, top 100 prospect that I think Georgia would welcome with open arms if you wanted to jump on board. So we'll see how this visit goes. If he decides to open things up, decommits from Vanderbilt, I think you have to take a long, hard look at Georgia. So definitely a guy to keep an eye on out of Haywood High School in Tennessee. Another 4-star safety, out-of-state guy out of Northwestern High School in South Carolina is Tamarian Watkins. This is a guy that I saw roaming the sidelines, having a great time during Georgia's G-Day scrimmage. Got a quick photo of him. Looks the part. He's 6'4", 200 pounds, but Georgia's got 3 safeties already on the commit list. 4-star Zachariah Fort, 4-star Jordan Smith out of Houston County, 3-star safety Keelan Jones out of Sprayberry, a guy that I went to check on during the spring. So I don't know how many safeties they're going to take. They've got 3 on the commit list. If they want to take 4, this is a guy to know, but it does seem like he has been trending South Carolina's way for a little bit now. He made 75 tackles last fall, 8 tackles for a loss, 2.5 sacks, 3 interceptions. He's the number 33 safety, number 331 overall. So again, if you're a Georgia fan, you're looking at these rankings, this guy is not going to impress you very much as far as his ranking goes, but he's going to be in town. Another guy who's had a lot to say about his relationship with the Georgia staff previously. If you want to look at those quotes or read those quotes, make sure you go over to dogpost.com. We've got a lot of stories, a lot of recruiting updates going on right now over on the website, so make sure you're checking that out. A lot of it is free, so don't miss out. We've got a lot of great quality stuff over on the website. And then Kenneth Goodwin, a 3-star linebacker from California. He's going to be in town as well. Now, I don't think he's the big prize, right? Tyler Atkinson is the big prize. Still think Georgia's in a good spot there, but that's not a slam dunk. I've been saying that for a while. Ohio State is firmly in the mix. Clemson really impressed him last weekend. I could see him at Clemson. He's going to Eugene, Oregon this upcoming weekend for an official visit. So, he's still the prize. That's still the 5-star. They're in on Shadarius Tootle, an Auburn commitment. Nick Abrams, a guy that Georgia has, or has Georgia in his top 4. But Kenneth Goodwin is a guy to know as well out of Inglewood High School in California. Georgia offered him this time last year. So he's held a Georgia offer for a while. Glenn Schumann went to go check on him this spring, 6'2", 205. And again, the Dogs offered in June of 2024. He's been to Athens twice this year, February 1st, late March. So he's, familiar with Athens. This will be his 3rd trip to Athens, Georgia for a visit since February 1st, right? So there's a lot of mutual interest there. He's the number 28 linebacker, number 364 overall. So again, the ranking's not going to impress a lot of people, but he's physically built 6'2", 205, and he's a linebacker that likes Georgia, and they've done their homework on him. They've gone out to visit him. They've got him on campus multiple times, and he will be in town for a big official visit. So a 3-star linebacker to keep an eye on that could be better than people think. He's a hard-hitting, tough kid out of California, and apparently the staff really likes him. So just a few guys to keep an eye on. It's not as star-studded, doesn't have the 5 stars that they did last week and will probably have next weekend, but still some names to know. And if Savian Haidider does come on board and makes it in town this weekend, like I believe he will, that's going to be a really, really big deal. And then Agoko, the offensive tackle. Those are the 2 big names to know. And if we confirm more guys, we'll add them to the story as well. So make sure you're heading over to Dog Post for the latest. Really appreciate y'all watching. Hope you learned something. I'll see you over on the website.